gone with it. But at the ships, they grab it. They're just cruising around the ships, and they don't like take off with it and just grab it. Like the eel's bouncing like this, you'll feel the eel, and all of a sudden he goes, that's it. That's the fish. He just engulfed it and closed his mouth, and that's all he's done. So it's a sip, sip, and that's it. And it's a weird energy in the rod. You know, you feel the eel, he's bouncing around, all of a sudden it's solid. You don't even have any hands on the rod yet, and you know it's a fish because it's just solid. It's just a solid feel to it. And you don't have to feed it to him. He's got it in his mouth. Pick it up and set the hook. And set it really, really hard too. I'm using J hooks, so no circle hooks. He's fishing right below you, and I just set it straight up. And no bobbers either. You know, on the drift, and everybody uses bobbers. We don't need them. And that's what that free line eel is. Bobbers keep it suspended. We keep it suspended by just sitting on the rods. So you don't need any bobbers, and that's all. We did that our first year out there. Caught one fish, got pulled around in circles, and I had lines all around me. You know, the last thing I wanted was another fish to grab that line, zip, you know, and it cut my throat. So that's what we do out there, and it's real. I use 50-pound braid, anywhere 3 to 5 ounces of weight, depends on where that current is and where you're hovering and what eddy you're in. 80-pound leader. Don't go under 60. These fish, don't have any teeth, but they will wear through anything less than 60-pound leader. And mono, you don't have to go 4-o'clock. Mono's fine out there. And 10-aught owner cutting point hooks. Anything smaller than that, I'll show you a picture of it perfectly in their lips. 10-aught hooks. Now, a lot of guys will, can you go lighter and all that stuff? But what I'm doing is I'm rigging for what's possible out there. A 60-pounder is possible. If you're going to cook a fish, it's going to be a fish of a lifetime, a trophy, real true trophy fish. You don't want to lose them because you're using 40-pound leader. And I've seen more fish break off because guys are holding the leader and the fish is thrashing and it wears right through it. These are big fish. They don't have teeth, but they will wear through it, especially how much weight you're putting on. And my theory is, lighter tackle, you can't get as good of a fight as if you're fighting with heavy tackle, especially in a kayak. Because with the light tackle, all you can really do is hold on. They're going to pull you around and all that stuff, but all you can do is hold on. With heavy tackle, cinch down. If you're confident your equipment's not going to break, you can put as much pressure on that fish as you want. And the harder you fight that fish, the harder he's going to fight you back. So the faster you're going to get pulled, the more violent it's going to get. The more he's going to run for the pines, he's going to slam you in, and it's just, that's what I'm out there for, is to get the craziest fight I can get out of this fish. And that's why I use really heavy tackle. And this is a solid fiberglass rod. Right? This is a real heavy rod. I don't cast with this one, I just sit on. This is just my striker stopper. Striker stopper. Now that's why I use this heavy stuff. Now, and when I go to set the hook, it's right at the water level. I'll reel it down right to the bottom, right to the surface of the water, and set it straight up. Now, a lot of times these fish will, if you let them hold the eel too long, the eel will ball up around the hook. A lot of times we've actually fought fish up to the surface just to have them open their mouth and the eel come out and the hook set back in the eel. They'll fight you without even being hooked. They're just holding on to the eel. So that's why it's really important as soon as he has it, set the hook, because it'll ball up in him. And if you're releasing, you don't want to gut hook him and all that stuff. Although these fish are tough, I've seen hooks out the other side of the fish. They pass hooks through them. They're pretty tough when you get that size.
That hurts a little coming out.
Yeah, I helped him out. I removed it for him. I helped him out a little bit. You're all right. Now here's what the eel can. I know everybody always has an issue with live bait or eels or anything like that, and I always get the question, can you use artificials out there? Probably. I don't, because I know eels work. Eels, that's the eel fishery is over there. The theory is that these eels are coming out of the rivers and staging in that water off Kipper Peak, in that 80-foot slough around that area before they move out. So that's why these stripers are really working on these eels and why they work so well. But I use these little flip containers and I drill holes in the bottom of them. The biggest thing about eels is they'll suffocate on their own slime. So you don't want to have them in a little bucket of water with no drainage because they'll suffocate on their own slime. So I have these little flip tops, cut holes in them, put the eels in them, the slime will drain through. Now when I'm transporting them over there, I'll put them in a cooler with a wet rag on top of them and it calms them down. And also with this, when they're in the back of your kayak, you know, pick it up, put it in some water just to refresh them a little bit and get them, you know, get a little bit of slime off of them. Now hook the eels up through the jaw and out through an eye. That's the best way to do it. And as soon as you hook them, throw them in the water because they're going to go nuts and they're going to ball up. As soon as they hit the water, they kind of swim around and they don't go as crazy as you would if you're trying to hold them up. And you know, and they'll use a wet rag. You know, I'll have a rag out there, a wet rag. Grab the biggest eel you have in your box and hook up and throw it in there. And I like the biggest, craziest eel because that's the one that's going to get most attention. He's a lot of maintenance because he's always trying to get to the bottom and you got to reel him up and all that stuff. But I like the big, crazy eels. And these hooks. See how these 10-aught hooks hit them right in that bony part. If I was using a smaller hook, it would have gotten in this part, you know, the soft part of their lip, and it would have been a little bit harder to keep them on. But these 10-aught hooks hook them right there, and I tell you, 90% of the times I hook them like this. You know, I don't hook them in the side of the mouth, anywhere like that. 90% of the time, it's a perfect hook set like that. As long as you hit them fast. You know, they got it, bam. You know, not like a bass that's holding a worm and moving away. They got other buddies trying to get that out of their mouth, so they're going to suck it down. And that's why I hit them really fast. And, you know, dealing with them is a lot of fun, too. You get to wrestle with them, and they get all, you know, on you. And luckily, these are easy fish. They don't have teeth. They're not real slimy like black drum. They don't go crazy like cobia. And, you know, once they're in the boat, they're pretty much done. Now, landing them, fighting them and landing them. Around the ships, you know, I really stay tight to them. I don't let a fish ever get too far away from me. If he goes for a run, I try to tighten down and get my momentum going. Once my momentum's going behind him, he's not more than 20 feet away from me, you know, horizontally. They will go towards the ships. If we have one go through an alley, the best thing I do, and it's the same thing I do with spade fish, if you have one go around the structure, put it in free spool. If you feel that structure on your line, immediately put it in free spool and paddle through. Because if you don't, he's going to break off. You know, at least you have a chance of the hook sticking, getting through, regaining the fight on the other side. I've had to do that. And but you know, with this alpha, the heavy stuff, you're right with him. So he's not going zoom, you're staying here and he's already gone, he's around it. Once you get your momentum going, you're right with him. You know, just kind of winch yourself to him with your rod, winch yourself to him, and the fight's always just right around you. And when you get them up to the boat, we secure the paddle, make sure the paddle's, you know, not laying across your lap or anywhere, and get it out of the way. We put it right up along our straps between our legs right there. Put the leg in the water, get the fish kind of pointing at you, right? It's a leg, leader, lip, and lift, right? So Rick's leg is underneath the fish right here. The fish coming out of you know, you get the rod, you got the fish coming. Grab the leader. I grab the leader with my left hand, got my leg in the water. He's right here between my leg and the boat. I put my rod down. I put it in free spool. In case he does take off, you know, if I don't get a good grip on him, he takes off, he's not going to take my rod. So I put it in free spool, put it down, grab the leader, get a good leader wrap, and get him up to your leg. Grab him with the other hand, and bring him up with your leg, your leader, and the lip. This is a red drum, but this is a perfect landing form, right? Got the leg up here, grab the leader, and the grip on his, in this case, on his gill plate. But you don't have to get them up too far. And I don't use nets, I don't use boga grips or anything like that. You're wasting time trying to deal with getting a boga grip. I've seen more fish lost out that too. You know, guys are they're leading them and they're trying to get the boga grip on, trying to stick them in the face, and that thing shakes off and gets off. You know, you get the fish next to the boat, get him in. You know, and that's you want to get him in the boat first. You don't want to lose that fish right there when you already seen him. So this is the perfect form, and you don't have to lift him up real hard. It's surprisingly easy. All you got to do is just lift him a little bit, and he's kind of horizontal in the water. His momentum's already in, and he's in. It's real simple. And we keep our decks clear. Nothing. No fish binders, no rod holders, none of that stuff. Because any of that stuff's going to impede you from putting one of these giants in the boat. And the best way to deal with them when you unhook them is have them facing, you know, long ways along your boat. So he's straddled between your legs. I've seen guys lose them by laying them across their laps, trying to unhook them, boom, goes right in the water. I've seen that a couple times. And that's always funny too. Like, and you will get striper thumb. But you know, that's as good as the trophy picture you're going to be taking home with. You know, you go to work and look at that. And you can see the individual cuts on your finger from their teeth. It's not like a little striper thumb you get out here. This is like big, nice gouges. It's awesome. Now, one thing when we're out at the ships,